us read this one. This is from Sri Ramamrita book. It especially talks about the nectar of holy name from BBT Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Srila Prabhupada quotes and importance of all the holy names from different reference from where it is mentioned like that. So Prabhupada also put some points in this wonderful book, Sri Namamrita, the nectar of holy name. The prime religious practice for the Kali Yuga is the chanting of the holy name. The Hare Krishna mantra is specifically mentioned in many Upanishads, such as Kali Shantara Upanishad, where it is said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashaka Namnam, Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, Nata Parayat, Nataha Paratarayu Payaha, Sarva Vedesh Drishyate. Iti Shodashaka Namnam, 16 syllables. Namnam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam, Nata Paratarayu Payaha, Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. After searching through all Vedic literature, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than chanting of Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita 3.40. So one of the in the Bhagavatam, this is described. Karabhaja Rishi to Maharaja Nimi. Those who are advanced and highly qualified and are interested in the essence of life know the good qualities of Kali Yuga. Such people worship the age of Kali because in this age, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna, one can advance in spiritual knowledge and attain life's goal. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.536, spoken by the great sage Karabhaja Rishi, one of the 9 Yogendras. Who is the Karabhaja Rishi? One of the Navayogendras, 9 Yogendras. This sage was informing Maharaja Nimi, King Nimi, about the people's duty to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to different processes in different yugas. Right? There is one more verse, right? We repeatedly recite that Yuga Dharma, Kali Yuga Dharma is chanting the holy names of the Krishna avatar, right? There is one verse, right? Krishna avatar. Correct. Fill out. Lavish Prabhu. I couldn't remember.
Which one, Prabhuji?
There is one verse, Prabhuji, especially Krishna avatar. Kali Kalena Nama Rupa Krishna avatar. Yeah. Kali Kalena Nama Rupa Krishna avatar. Krishna appeared in the Krishna appeared as holy name in Kali Yuga. So different processes, different yugas, Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. In this Kali Yuga, chanting the holy names of the Lord only. Right? So let us chant regularly, consistently, constantly. Yeah. Maybe all other devotees, maybe they are last night they spent time Shivaratri, maybe couldn't attend today. Let us complete the Nityananda Balram's 5th chapter of Hadilila, Chaitanya Charitamrita with Mangalacharana prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, chapter 5. The glories of Lord Nityananda Balarama. The glories of Lord Nityananda Balarama. So we'll read from 227 verse. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of him, Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda? All the groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavana are absorbed in chanting the all auspicious name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are the life and soul of those Vaishnavas who do not know anything but devotional service to Shri Radha and Krishna. The dust and shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And Nityananda said, in Vrindavana, all things are possible. Here I have explained his brief statement in detail. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavana, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Purport. All the inhabitants of Vrindavana are Vaishnavas. They are all auspicious because somehow or other they always chant the holy name of Krishna, even though some of them do not strictly follow the rules and regulations of devotion service, but still they are Vaishnavas. On the whole, they are devotees of Krishna and chant his name directly or indirectly, purposely or without purpose. Even when they pass on the street, they are fortunate enough to exchange greetings by saying the name of Radha Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, like that. Thus, directly or indirectly, they are auspicious. Yeah, you can continue, Samyukta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The present city of Vrindavana has been established by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas since the 6 Goswamis went there and directed the construction of their different temples. Of all the temples in Vrindavana, 90% belong to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas sect. The followers of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda and 7 temples are very famous. The inhabitants of Vrindavana do not know anything but the worship of Radha and Krishna. In recent years, some unscrupulous so-called priests known as caste Goswamis have introduced the worship of demigods privately, but no genuine and rigid Vaishnavas participate in this. Those who are serious about the Vaishnava method of devotional activities do not take part in such worship of demigods. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas are never differentiate between Radha and Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. They say that since Lord Chaitanya is the combined form of Radha Krishna, he is not different from Radha and Krishna. But some misled people try to prove that they are greatly elevated by saying that they like to chant the holy name of Lord Gaura instead of the names of Radha and Krishna. Thus, they purposely differentiate between Lord Chaitanya and Radha Krishna. According to them, the system of Nadiya Nagari, which they have recently invented in their fertile brains, is the worship of Gaura, Lord Chaitanya, but they do not like to worship Radha and Krishna. They put forward the argument that since Lord Chaitanya himself appeared as Radha and Krishna combined, there is no necessity of worshipping Radha and Krishna. Such differentiation by so-called devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered disruptive by pure devotees. Anyone who differentiates between Radha and Krishna and Gauranga is to be considered a plaything in the hands of Maya. There are others who are against the worship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thinking him mundane. But any sect that differentiate between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna, either by worshipping Radha Krishna as distinct from Lord Chaitanya or by worshipping Lord Chaitanya but not Radha Krishna, is in the group of Prakriti Sahajiyas. Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, predicts in verses 225 and 226 that in the future, those who manufacture imaginary methods of worship will gradually give up the worship of Radha Krishna. And although they will call themselves devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they will also give up the worship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and fall down into material activities. For the real worshippers of Lord Chaitanya, the ultimate goal of life is to worship Sri Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Lovish Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. I have described my own story without reservations. The attributes of Lord Nityananda, making me like a madman, forced me to write these things. The glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Shesha, with his thousands of mouths, cannot find their limits. They praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rup and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadasa, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Purport. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 5th chapter, describing the glories of Lord Nityananda Balram. Nityananda Prabhu ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Ita Gaur Hari Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Gaura Hari Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. So 235 verses we have completed. Normally, it's been long actually, since last 3 to 4 weeks, regularly we are reading on this chapter only. Today we have completed at least read once. We all read once. So let us go back and read the only translations for some of them, and remaining will continue tomorrow. So again, we start with normally we recite the slow with the text, the sloka meanings, right? So let us read. Yeah, Lavanya, you are there. Hare
Only
Krishna.
translations, right?
Translations, but better to read this one also quickly.
Just a second. The glories of Lord Nityananda Balrama. This chapter is chiefly devoted to describing the essential nature and glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, and his first expansion in the form of pastimes is Sri Balarama. Beyond the limitation of this material world is the spiritual sky, Paravyoma, which has many spiritual planets, the supreme of which is called Krishna Loka. Krishna Loka, the abode of Krishna, has three divisions, which are known as Dwaraka, Mathura, and Goloka. In that abode, the personality of Godhead expands himself into four plenary portions: Krishna, Brahma, Pradyumna, the transcendental Cupid, and Aniruddha. They are known as the original quadruple forms. In Krishna Loka is the transcendental place known as Shvetadvipa or Vrindavana. Below Krishna Loka is the spiritual sky or the Vaikuntha planets. On each Vaikuntha planet, a four-handed Narayana expanded from the first quadruple manifestation is present. The personality of Godhead known as Sri Balarama in Krishna Loka is the original Sankarshana, attracting deity. And from this Sankarshana expands another Sankarshana called Maha Sankarshan, who resides in one of the Vaikuntha planets. By his internal potency, Maha Sankarsana maintains the transcendental existence of all the planets in the spiritual sky, where all the living beings are eternally liberated souls. The influence of this material energy is conspicuous there by its absence. On those planets, the second quadruple manifestation is present. Outside of the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal manifestation of Krishna, which is known as Brahmaloka. On the other side of Brahmaloka is the spiritual Karana Samudra or causal ocean. The material energy exists on the other side of the causal ocean without touching it. In the causal ocean is Maha Vishnu, the original Purusha expansion from Sankarshana. Maha Vishnu places his glance over the material energy, and by reflection of his transcendental body, he amalgamates himself within the material elements. As the source of the material elements, the material energy is known as Pradhan. As the source of the manifestation of the material energy is known as Maya. But material nature is inert in that she has no independent power to do anything. She is empowered to make the cosmic manifestation by the glance of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the material energy is not the original cause of this material manifestation. Rather, the transcendental glance of Mahavishnu over the material nature produces that cosmic manifestation. Mahavishnu again enters. Mahavishnu again enters. Maha, Mahavishnu again enters every universe as the reservoir of all living entities as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From Garbhodakshaya Vishnu expands Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, the super soul of every living entity. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu has his own Vaikuntha planet in every universe, where he lives as the super soul or supreme controller of the universe. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu reclines in the midst of the watery portion of the universe and generates the first living creature of the universe, Brahma. The imaginary universal form is a partial manifestation of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. On the Vaikunta planet, in every universe is an ocean of milk, and within that ocean is an island called Shvetadvipa, where Lord Vishnu lives. Therefore, this chapter describes two Shvetadvipas, one in the abode of Krishna and other in the ocean of milk in every universe. The Shvetadvipa in the abode of Krishna is identical with Vrindavan Dhama, which is the place where Krishna appears himself to display his loving pastimes. In the Shvetadvipa, within every universe is a Shesha form of Godhead who serves Vishnu by assuming the form of his umbrella, slippers, couch, pillows, garments, residence, secretariat, throne, and so on. Lord Baladeva in Krishnaloka is Nityananda Prabhu. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is the original Sankarshana, and Maha Sankarshan and his expansions are the Purushas in the universes or plenary expansions of Nityananda Prabhu. In this chapter, the author has described the history of his leaving home for a personal pilgrimage to Vrindavana and his achieving all success there. In this description, it is revealed that author's original paternal home and birthplace were in the district of Katwa in the village of Jamantapura, which is near Naihati. Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami brother invited Sri Meenaketana Ramadasa, a great devotee of Lord Nityananda, to his home. But a priest named Gunarnava Mishra did not receive him well, and Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami's brother, not recognizing the glories of Lord Nityananda, also took sides with the priest. Therefore, Ramadasa became sorry, broke his flute, and went away. This was a great disaster for the brother of Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami. But on that very night, Lord Nityananda Prabhu himself graced Krishnaraja Kaviraja Goswami in a dream and ordered him to leave on the next day for Vrindavana.
Thank you, Lavanya. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Lastly, Deepa Mataji and Kinjampi have joined. So we are reading again the translations, Mataji Prabhuji. So Deepa Mataji, you can read 10 verses.
Okay, Prabhuji. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri, Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have described the glory of Sri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses, I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balarama is his second body. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balarama is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvipa as Lord Chaitanya, and Balarama appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. May Sri Nityananda Rama be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Sheshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Lord Balarama is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation and in the form of Lord Shesha. He serves Krishna in various ways. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Akinjampi Prabhu, kindly read 10 verses.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat,
Hare
sorry
Krishna.
for joining late.
No problem.
In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. The same Balarama is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundara. I have explained the 7th verse in 4 subsequent verses. By these verses, all the world can know the truth about Lord Nityananda. I surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, who is known as Sankarshana, in the midst of Chaturviha,
Chatur.
Chaturviha, consisting of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha Loka far beyond the material creation. Beyond the material natures lies the realm known as Parovyama, the spiritual sky. Like Lord Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes such as the six opulences. That Vaikuntha region is all pervading, infinite, and supreme. It is the residence of Lord Krishna and his incarnations. In the highest region of the spiritual sky is the spiritual planet called Krishna Loka. It has three divisions: Dwarka, Mathura, and Goloka. Sri Goloka, the highest of all, is also called as Vraja, Goloka, Svetadipa, and Vrindavana. Like the transcendental bodies of body of Lord Krishna, Gokula is all pervading, infinite, and supreme. It expands both above and below without any restrictions. The abode is manifested within the material world by the will of Lord Krishna. It is identical to the original Gokula. They are not two different bodies. The land there is touching stone. Chintamani, the forest abound with the desired trees. Material eyes sees it as an ordinary place.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Lavish Prabhu, you can read 10 more verses.
Hare Krishna. Text 21. But with the eyes of love of Godhead, one can see its real identity as a place where Lord Krishna performs his pastime with the cowherd boys and cowherd girls. I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending cows, yielding all desires in abodes built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purple trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. Lord Krishna manifests his own form in Mathura and Dwarika. He enjoys pastime in various ways by expanding into the quadruple forms. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha are the primary quadruple forms from whom all other quadruple forms are manifested. They are purely transcendental. Only in these three places, Dwarika, Mathura, and Gokula, thus the all-sporting Lord Krishna performs his endless pastime with his personal associate. In the Vaikuntha planets of the spiritual sky, the Lord manifests his identity as Narayana and performs pastimes in various ways. Krishna's own form has only two hands, but in the form of Lord Narayana, he has four hands. Lord Narayana holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower, and he is full of great opulences. The Shri, Bhu, and Hila energies serve at his lotus feet. Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, by his causeless mercy, he performed one activity for the fallen souls. He delivered the fallen living entities by offering them the four kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Srishti, and Sarupya. Those who attain Brahma, those who attain Brahma, Sayujya liberation cannot gain entrance into Vaikuntha. Their residence is outside the Vaikuntha planets. Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the atmosphere of glowing effulgence, which consists of supremely bright rays of the body of Lord Krishna. That region is called Siddhaloka, and it is beyond the material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but it does not have spiritual varieties. It is like a homogeneous effulgence around the sun, but inside the sun are the chariots, horses, and other opulences of the sun god. As through devotion to the Lord, one can attain his abode. Many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, or affection. There it has been stated that the Lord's enemies and devotees attain the same destination. This refers to the ultimate oneness of Brahma and Lord Krishna. This may be understood by the example of sun and the sunshine, in which Brahman is like a sunshine and Krishna himself is like the sun. Thus, in the spiritual sky, there are varieties of pastimes within the spiritual energy. Outside the Vaikuntha planets appears the impersonal reflection of lights. That impersonal Brahman effulgence consists only of the effulgent rays of the Lord. Those fit for Sayujya liberation merges into that effulgence. Beyond the region of ignorance, the material cosmic manifestation lies the realm of Siddhaloka. The Siddhas reside there, absorbed in the bliss of Brahman. Demons killed by the Lord also attain that realm. In that spiritual sky on the fourth side of Narayana are the second expansion of the quadruple expansions of Dwarika. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna.
Haribol. Express. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for reading. Yeah, everyone reading 10 verses. You are express mode, 20 verses. Thank you. It's okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Nice. Samyukta Mother, we will read another 4 minutes and wind up. Whatever we can read, we can read. Samyukta Mother, please read 10 verses.
Okay, Prabhu. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha constitute this second quadruple. They are purely transcendental. They are in the spiritual sky. The personal feature of Balrama, called Maha Sankarshana, is the shelter of the spiritual energy. He is the primary cause, the cause of all causes. One variety of the pastimes of the spiritual energy is described as pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. It comprises all the abodes of Vaikuntha. The 6 attributes are all spiritual. Know for certain that they are all manifestations of the opulence of Sankarshana. There is one marginal potency known as the Jiva. Maha Sankarshana is the shelter of all Jivas. Sankarshana is the original shelter of the Purusha, from whom this world is created and in whom it is dissolved. He, Sankarshana, is the shelter of everything. He is wonderful in every respect and his opulences are infinite. Even Ananta cannot describe his glory. That Sankarshana, who is transcendental pure goodness, is a partial expansion of Nityananda Balarama. I have briefly explained the 8th verse. Now please listen with attention as I explain the 9th verse. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, whose partial representation called Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, lying on the Karana ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of illusory energy, and the shelter of all the universes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Mother. Thank you very much. Lavanya, you can read 10 more verses.
Outside, 51, right?
51, yeah.
Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and behind that effulgence is the Karana ocean or Kajal ocean. 52. The surrounding Vaikuntha is a mass of water that is endless, unfathomed, and unlimited. The earth, water, fire, air, ether of Vaikunthas are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there. The water of the Karna ocean, which is the original cause, is therefore spiritual. The sacred Ganges, which is but a drop of it, purifies the fallen souls. In that ocean lies a plenary portion of Lord Sankarshana. He is known as the first Purusha, the creator of the total material energy. He is the cause of the universes. The first incarnation cast his glance over Maya. Maya Shakti resides outside the Karana ocean. Maya cannot touch its water. Maya has 2 varieties of existence. One is called Pradhana or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of the material world. Because Prakriti is dull and inert, it cannot actually be the cause of the material world. But Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into the dull, inert material nature. Thus, Prakriti, by the energy of Lord Krishna, becomes the secondary cause, just as iron becomes red hot by the energy of fire. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes. Deepa Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. From 61, right?
Yeah, 61.
Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like the nipples on the neck of a goat, for they cannot give any milk. The Maya aspect of material nature is the immediate cause of the cosmic manifestation, but it cannot be the real cause, for the original cause is Lord Narayana. Just as the original cause of an earthen pot is the potter, so the creator of the material world is the first Purusha incarnation, Karanarnavashai Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the creator and Maya. Lord Krishna is the creator and Maya only helps him as an instrument, just like the potter's wheel and other instruments, which are the instrumental causes of a pot. The first Purusha casts his glance at Maya from a distance, and thus he impregnates her with the seed of life in the form of the living entities. The reflected rays of his body mix with Maya, and thus Maya gives birth to myriad universes. The Purusha enters each and every one of the countless universes. He manifests himself in as many separate forms as there are universes. When the Purusha exhales, the universes are manifested with each outward breath. Thereafter, when he inhales, all the universes again enter his body. Just as atomic particles of dust pass through the openings of a window, so the networks of universe pass through the pores of the skin of the Purusha. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Vancha kalpatarupascha kripa sindhuvaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Reading ki jai. Hidaya Gaura Hari Premanande Hari Bol. Thank you very much. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a happy Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.